Blush. There is a dent in the drywall just above the dresser. You think it might have something to do with rough sex on a good night. The heel of your hand fills it perfectly. Body memory says what made this dent felt good. You don't trust it. Your dilemma is whether to patch it. Do you even out that dented place that your body remembers with some mixture of sweat and shame and grace and surrender? At the county hazardous waste dump, you search for and find paint someone threw out. On the top of the can, a faded ballpoint pen note reads, "Master bedroom." There is a swipe of color on the label, blush. The irony of the word blush juxtaposed with master bedroom is not lost on you. Your bedroom is shabby and needs repair. You want to breathe new life, new blood into this open field that lays fallow. There are holes from pictures you ripped off the walls in haste, in anger, or deep, deep sorrow. Blush. Spread it on the walls. You buy the accoutrements for painting. New brushes, new ladder, new rollers, painter's tape, patch repair, spackle knife, drop cloths, a gadget that actually opens the paint can as well as a beer bottle, and a painter's hat. You need the correct hat for the job. Free paint from the hazardous waste dump has now cost you $97.36. Open paint can, pour into paint pan, wrestle the woolly tube over the cage, put the drop cloths down, tape off the crown molding, dip roller into paint, roll. The name of your married boyfriend's wife is Carol. Dip roller into paint and roll. She was tall, dark-haired, and stunning. Her smile was brilliant. She snow-skied in winter and water-skied in summer. She hiked into the wilderness alone and with the family. She was an attorney. Her calves were flawless. If she ever wrote a personal ad, she could honestly say she was athletic, fit, and adventurous, instead of stretching the truth like you always feel you have to do. But she will never have to write a personal ad because she's married to your boyfriend. Dip roller into paint and roll. You notice there is a hole that needs spackling. You put your finger inside and draw back dust. You never realized how much this hole looks like a bullet hole from a .22 right over your headboard. Patch, hair, spackle, allowed to dry. Dip roller into paint and roll. You went to the annual Christmas party at their house, twice. Once before you started fucking him, and then a few years later when he was more familiar with your body and your demeanor. He squeezed your ass in an intimate, clandestine manner while you were pouring yourself a glass of some expensive varietal wine. Carol carefully and elaborately decorated their house for Christmas. A large, exquisitely carved Saint Nick dressed in red velvet, and a large bag of decorative, not safe for young children, toys stood guard on the hearth. This, she explained, is a little remembrance we picked up during our trip to Switzerland. It was great to take the kids there when they were little. Such amazing skiing. You think, what kind of woman sleeps with the husband of someone who has kids, little, goes to Switzerland, and is a part of a we? I've been thinking, he tells you over coffee one morning in a crowded restaurant. He clears his throat. I need to tell you, he says louder, now fidgeting with the cuff of his pants. He is wearing very expensive shoes that you've never seen. They might be Italian. I'm having an affair. He turns directly to face you and spit sprays out of his mouth. A premature ejaculation, you think? I know, you say, with me, with another woman. What other woman? I'm the other woman, and I love her. Your face gets red. You think you might be having a stroke. You cannot talk. His words linger. You want these frozen words, this sharpened ice to go away so badly that you are even willing to feel sorry that these words are hard for him. You just want it to all be okay again. You count how many years you have invested in a fantasy that apparently only one of you is having. You wonder where you failed as a girlfriend. You wonder at your amazing disappearing backbone. You wonder why you'd want a man who cheats on his wife. If you were not a woman in need of mending, you would pour your hot coffee all over his expensive Italian shoes. You might even go as far as imagine red-hot flames erupting from a small hole between his eyes. Instead, you ask him how he was going to tell Carol. Will he leave her? What will happen to that Saint Nick they bought in Switzerland? Then you do that magic trick where you make yourself invisible. You disappear into a wormhole that slowly erodes and to form something that looks like a bullet hole that someday needs to be mended, then patched over, then painted blush.